Now, when I mention the word hockey, most people think of places such as Boston, Minnesota, and of course Canada, but they don't think of San Diego. Well, for 20 young men at San Diego State, hockey is their way of life. And for the first time in 10 years, hockey's been reborn at San Diego State, all in the dreams of one man.
Well, I started the team basically out of frustration. At the time, I was playing in a house league at San Diego Ice Arena, and basically I was frustrated with the league as a whole. I mean, I had played a couple of years back east in New England, and I'd really missed the traveling and the schedule and the camaraderie of a team, and it seemed like it was too lackadaisical for me. And I noticed that a lot of people that I was playing with were in fact students at San Diego State. It kind of hit me one day, why doesn't State have a hockey team? Well, the first step was to go to Rec Sports and try to establish club sports status. I spoke to Brett Godwin, who is the club sports coordinator here at San Diego State, and basically she informed me of the paperwork that was necessary and the various insurance and various regulations that were required to be a club sport here at San Diego State.
I figured I was never going to play hockey again, really, and then I saw a flyer for San Diego State ice hockey. And I called up Greg, who was the president, and he said, come on out, try out for the team. And ever since then, it's been a blast. Been a great time playing hockey here.
The recruiting methods were actually pretty simple. Basically, it was a matter of putting up some flyers and basically putting them all over campus. I also went to the two ice arenas here in San Diego and put flyers up there. The response, the methods were simple, but the response was tremendous.
After such a great response, now came the unwanted task of cutting down to a working-size team. The Aztecs started to build a reputation around the league. They made headlines and were even recognized by the legendary LA Kings broadcaster, Bob Miller.
Also, we have some members of the San Diego State University Aztec ice hockey players here tonight. They last year went 12-5. This year they've jumped off to a 2-0 start. They're big Kings fans down there at San Diego State. Certainly we wish them all the best this season.
San Diego State's hockey team has continued their success on to their second season. Their record is 5-0, and they've outscored opponents 57-7. Part of their success can be attributed to their practices. But practice time is not always easy to get, especially in San Diego, where ice rinks are scarce. But when they do get their practice time, they must pay hourly. And these hours can add up to quite a bit of money.
Most of our practices consist of passing. We start out skating around, and then we do passing drills and maybe a few breakout drills. Then maybe a technique drill like face-offs or something around that, stick handling, and then we move into a scrimmage in the end. And the trainers come out, make sure nobody's hurt during practice, and everybody comes out with a good attitude and we have a good time.
Without question, the toughest thing facing the hockey team is our lack of funding. We're completely self-sufficient, and hockey is a very expensive sport. For example, practice time just for an hour of running the ice runs us about $250.
We don't really get good times to practice. We've had practices that have started at 12:30 at night and gone till 1:30, 2 in the morning. And the late hours that we practice, sometimes wonder what I'm doing. I wake up the next morning feeling like hell for classes, but it's worth it for hockey. It's a good time.
There are many things that I would rather be than a goaltender in hockey. I'd rather be Mike Tyson's next opponent. I'd rather be Liz Taylor's next husband. I'd rather be a member of the bomb squad, anything but be a goalie. I mean, just imagine yourself between a 4x6 net with these pucks being hurled at you 100 miles an hour. But despite this fact, some people actually like goaltending.
The goaltender in hockey, one of the toughest positions in all of sports. This breed of man is an individual hero in the realm of competition, where he must stay crouched in his own private sector, not able to be relieved like his mates, with only pads to protect him from the puck and other players. And when that puck finds its way past you, the blame's all your own. To Jerome, tell us of the Aztecs, that is.
Actually, the way I started was kind of funny. I was in goal for a friend of mine from Winnipeg who got me into hockey, and so I was more like his guinea pig. But then after a while, I started liking the idea that I could either make or break a game no matter how good my team was. And I love being in pressure situations, and I like to think that I excel in those situations. And it comes to that point in a game where it's just you and the shooter, and it's a one-goal game. And depending on how good you're on that day, you can win or lose. My most memorable SDSU hockey experience, I think, was the first game. We were on a road trip against UCLA. And it was memorable because it was my first game as well as State's first game. We were playing a big school, and it was away. And I was starting goalie that night. The interesting thing about the game was that it was humid outside, and it was freezing cold inside. And so steam was rising from the ice about, I'd say, a good 3 or 4 feet, and it was pretty solid. And I couldn't see 20 feet in front of me. So I think intensity-wise, that game was up there. And I'll tell you, I was scared as hell when they were winding up at the blue line because I could barely see until it was right in front of me.
In order to prepare for a game, a player must not only prepare himself physically, but also mentally.
Aztec coach Tom Underwood overlooks his troops as they prepare for a battle. These players know that once they're out on the ice, they're on their own.
You know, you don't think about fighting as something that just kind of happens. Well, fighting in the NHL is, you know, is also a major part of the game. You know, it's intimidation, it's game plan and strategies all involved. The consequences are a lot less minor, you know, in that league than in ours. I guess in the NHL they've got, you know, a 5-minute penalty for fighting, you know, and they'll let you fight until you fall to the ground, and then the refs will come in and break it up, and that'll be it. But in our league, you get into a fight and you're going to be suspended for 2 games. I know about that. I just played in the game Sunday, which is my first game back after my 2-game suspension for fighting. You know, I can't say whether it was worth it or not, but it was fun.
After all the hard work and preseason practices these players have put in, it's now time for the opening face-off.
From the opening face-off, the fans knew they were in for a true hockey game. Orange Coast College gave the Aztecs probably their toughest challenge yet. They did this by reducing the Aztecs' potent offense to a gang of the ones that just got away. But the Aztec defense was just as tough. And 2 hard-playing defenses equals hard checks and bad tempers. The game got very physical, as hockey often does. The Aztecs didn't let bad blood between the teams stand in their way of recording a victory. The San Diego State ice hockey team remains undefeated, but They know their toughest games have yet to be played.
I'm just letting you know you suck. Okay, ready? I think I said young man instead of young men. 20 young man. There are many things that I'd rather be than a goal. Okay. I'd even rather be a member of the bomb squad. We're doing cheese, dude. Okay, ready? Okay. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Man,
Okay, ready? SDSU has continued. Ready? All right, ready? Ready? All right, ready? Ready? All right, one more time. And that can equal quite a sum. God, what is that? Jesus Christ! Who is this? Who is this guy? All right, one more time. Yeah. Always. It's God dang it. Okay, ready? Ready?
Get a mic rub.
D7. My phone. Hold on.
make sure you look.
Physical changes. That suck.
The team we call, his name's Brian Lee, but his nickname is Charles Manson.
Okay, now
We broke some bones on this other guy's arm.
Win or lose, we hit the booze.
the game. Very good. Okay, we're done. Thanks, everybody.